G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. For today's review, I'm going to feature this piece which contains the biggest box I have ever seen, certainly the biggest box I've ever featured on the channel. Now, you know, I know there are bigger watch boxes out there. For example, Omega's Moonwatch, that has a bigger box as far as I've seen on pictures. But this is certainly the biggest I've come across. So let's open this Longines piece, right? So this is the outer cardboard box you can see there, and here we have the inner box, which is in kind of a wood finish. I don't think it's absolute solid wood. It's actually probably a MDF fiber or some sort with a wood finish on top, but nonetheless they seem to have pulled out all the stops for this particular piece. You know, unfortunately there has been a little bit of a knock that this has taken, but otherwise it is in pretty pristine condition. There's a bit of a leather band there with a I guess an embossed Longines logo. So let's get this open on the top here, and yep, it is the Legend Diver, a watch that seems to be very well respected, very popular in the circuit, and certainly something that I have enjoyed my time with. So let's just get this apart and just show you the watch here. Okay, so this is the Longines Legend Diver L3.674.4.50. Now the model number does have a further digit at the end, but I think that pretty much denotes the strap options. In this case, it's kind of got this synthetic outer finishing, leather style strap. Okay, that's what this particular watch is on this model. Thank you again, Graham, local friend and supporter, who has made this watch available very kindly. Let me test it out and try it and review it on the channel. Now, one thing immediately that I will say, as I'm having this watch on hand here, is the strap is just too big. So let me just put on the hand for you to take a look here. Okay, so there it is on my 17 centimeter wrist. Now that means it's just shy of 7 inches. Which is a lot of, you know, what people wrist size may range from. And look at that, I can fit 3 fingers in there, and it is on, hopefully you can see that it's on the smallest hole. Okay, so I think this is the extra large strap. Well, I'm in very little doubt that this is the extra large strap. Graham has a much bigger wrist than mine. And his actually barely fits comfortably just on the smallest hole there. So this is far too large for the vast majority of people. So just beware, if you're going to buy this watch, make sure you're getting the normal size strap and not this what seemingly is the extra large strap. Okay, so when I review properly, when I take this to the table, I'm going to swap this out for a NATO or Zulu, just to be something that I can put on my wrist and show you how it sits on my wrist. Okay, so that's the watch there. I'm just going to put that aside and show you the rest of the box here. So, okay, this is the inside you've seen there. You can actually lift this up. Okay, and that's empty. You know, there's nothing in here as far as I can gather. There's no other openings here. And then underneath, they actually do have this kind of book. It says Sports Legends, Book of Exploits, Longines, and there's nothing much on there. Graham did say very kindly that I can open this, but you know, out of I guess respect, I've chosen not to go ahead and open it. I'm going to let him do it. It just doesn't feel right for me to bust into this mint condition book that comes with this great watch there. So I'm going to leave that be. If you can find it online or whatever, let me know what is particularly in there, or if Graham opens it for me, I might do a separate video just to show what's in there. Okay, let's just close that and get that out of the way. And then underneath, right, you notice that there is a drawer here, and that's of course the manual, right? And there is nothing else in here. So this very much is I guess a display or show box, really, to I guess focus attention into the watch, and just to I guess give some weight as to what Longines considers this watch to be, which is I guess a heritage, a very rich heritage watch that they really want to pay some respect to. So this is the manual. It does appear to cover all your calibers, so let me just flick to the English part here. which is right there. And you can see, you know, automatic chronographs, quartz chronographs, automatic chronos. Really, it covers pretty much all the current calibers, I believe. If I just flick through, you know, bands, basic stuff, right? A lot of, I guess, what you might see is basic. There's this particular watch, the Legend Diver, with the double crowns, right? Instructions for that. And as I go through, interestingly, you know, they've got some retrograde calibers which look really fascinating. Wish I can get my hands on some of that. And then going to some of the other weirder stuff, quartz chronographs, what have you, you know. So that's really the current Longines manual, I believe. So, you know, let me, as I said, take this watch and change out the strap to something that can fit my wrist, and we'll take it at the table for the rest of the review. See you guys soon. Alright guys, here we go. Here's the watch, and I've swapped out the original leather straps and put on this ballistic nylon Zulu style strap from VARIO. Links below if you're interested in finding out where I got this particular strap. Thank you to VARIO for making this available for featuring on the channel. So this Legend Diver watch, if you're not already familiar with it, it is a remake. I guess it's a re-edition of a vintage watch. Now the vintage piece was early 1960s, as I understand it, and it is serial 7042. I'll try to find some pictures that I can put up here to reference the original piece. This particular watch, the current US MSRP, as far as I can gather, is $2,300, but you can get it for between $1,500 and $1,600 on various grey retail sites, which I just quickly did a search on. The movement in here is fairly basic. It is the Longines L633, which is the Longines adaptation of the ETA 2824-2. Nothing wrong with that. You know, it's a very stable, reliable workhorse. 28,800 beat per hour, of course. 25 joule with 38-hour power reserve. You've seen this piece in various other dive watches and whatnot that are featured on the channel. It does have the quick set date. In this case, it's implemented here on that bordered window. The date wheel is light number on dark background in this case. It does have hacking and manual winding function. Of course, you know, you're probably already quite familiar with this movement if you have any Swiss watches. The case is 42 millimeters across, 15 millimeter on the thickness with 22 millimeter lug width, and this is what this strap is, of course. Lug-to-lug distance is 45 millimeters on the measure there. The surfaces are fully polished, right? As I've turned this around, you can see it is a fully polished watch, and in this case, I think it works okay, you know, because the glass takes up almost the whole diameter of the front. Therefore, you don't have a lot of polished surfaces left to, I guess, to catch reflections and maybe be too much light reflection on this particular watch. So I think it works okay with the fully polished surfaces here. The bezel in this dive watch, as you've noted already, there's no external rotating bezel. It is actually an internal rotating flange operated by this 2 o'clock screw-in crown. So let me just show you how that works now. So unscrew that, and as it pops out, you can see that's how you would turn the internal bezel for dive timing. Okay, so that's really something different. I mean, it's not the first watch I've had with an internal bezel, but certainly it is the first dive watch I've ever seen in hand with an internal rotating bezel for the time bezel function. Okay, so that's really what that is. The case back is screw-in. If you've seen me turn it around earlier, let me just show it to you now. Remove that Zulu bit there, and you know, that's the case back there. Legend Diver down the bottom, and various other features there, including Swiss made, the water resistant comment there, all stainless steel, 316L steel, of course. And then in the middle you have that very nice embossed carving of a diver with a harpoon. I'm not sure what that exactly represents, whether it's a Longines historical thing or not. Let me know if you know where that symbol exactly comes from. Okay, so with that screw-in case back and the dual screw-in crowns, right, the main setting crown is the 4 o'clock one, you're getting your water resistance rating of 300 meters is what this watch is rated at. The dial, I think that's really going to be the main feature of the watch, the main talking point amongst many people. I think it's really a black lacquered dial. Now, there's nothing applied here. Everything is kind of printed or painted on, but you know, it does have a certain style. You know, just look at that. I know this dial, people just rave on about the design, the appearance of this dial, and I can see why. You know, it's quiet. It doesn't quite shout out at you, but you know, there's just something clean about the design. It just have Longines with the symbol at the top. All it says at the 6 o'clock, the branding there is automatic. Even the word Swiss made, it's almost microscopic. You know, I'm not sure whether it's going to come up, but it's below the 6 o'clock marking there. Very small Swiss made. So very clean, uncluttered, nothing extraneous. They haven't bothered, you know, saying anything else on the front of the watch here. And I think that's why this is so liked. Just the design of this beautiful black lacquered dial. Now the lume is quite conservative. I'll put up a lume shot here. You can see, you know, really there's only a few dots around the perimeter that are lumed, and there's a bit of lume on the hands, the hour and the minute hand there, you know, in this shape, the baton and the arrow for the hour hand there. So it's pretty conservative. It works most of the night. I don't think it's fantastic lume because it's actually a minuscule amount on this watch. Certainly nowhere comparable to some of the more overt Seiko divers that I have, for example. Okay, so that's what I can say about the lume. The glass on top, if you can observe already, is this domed sapphire, and it really is quite a striking dome. You can see how it curves up very sharply here, and then there's a very much more gentle slope, gentle curve across the face here, but there's a very sharp curve along the side here, and that's all glass there. Right? Hopefully you can see that, and that's really quite beautiful. It's quite a beautiful piece of sapphire. I've seen nothing like that before. I think it reminds me of the Orient Bambino glass, but that one actually has a mineral glass crystal. This one is actually fully sapphire crystal. Okay, so that's really what that is covering the top here. Now, this case has a Super-Compressor look. Now, is it actually a Super-Compressor case? I don't know, but Super-Compressors supposedly use water pressure as you go deeper. The water pressure pressing against the case helps press the case back, you know, and achieve a stronger seal. That's what a Super-Compressor does, along with having a screw-in case back. You know, the Super-Compressors doesn't actually reference the jewel crowns, but you know, the original designers did apply jewel crowns, including the 2 o'clock one for the internal bezel. So they've become slightly synonymous, but they actually strictly aren't synonymous. Now, whether this is a Super-Compressor case, I don't know, because Longines on their website, to their shame, actually do not use the word Super-Compressor. Maybe it isn't. You know, who knows? Some people have assumed that it is, but I can't actually confirm that. I think the only way you can confirm that is opening it and taking a look at the actual structure of the flange of the gasket and seeing whether it does have some of the Super-Compressor design features. And I'm not going to do that with a watch that is not mine. Definitely not something I will do. You know, the band, you know, this isn't the original band, of course, as I've showed you already. This is the original band. It is leather, right? It does say genuine leather. Actually, it doesn't, but Longines website states it as leather. This one has a Longines on the inside there, and this one actually just has 22, presumably for the lug width there. The outside, you know, clearly isn't leather, right? There's a texture to it. It's a synthetic material of some form, but Longines, again, they actually don't state what it is, so that's a little bit annoying on their official website. And then it's got a fairly basic steel buckle, which is a bit weak feeling. Maybe they've just gone and really just applied what they used initially in the vintage diver, and that's why that has that appearance there. I wouldn't imagine you'll find this in one of their modern offerings with a leather strap. That's probably not what style buckle you will find on the Longines these days. Okay, so that's the band there. Not much to say about it. what have I really enjoyed about this watch? Well, you know, I think it's really a pretty fantastic piece. It's a beautiful classic design. It's got that internal rotating bezel, which is something I've never seen on a dive watch. You know, obviously there are dive watches that have it, but I've never had it in hand. It's got that great looking vintage dial, which, you know, they did have a no-date version. And that one seems to be the one that people really lust after now because, you know, of the symmetry, the cleanliness of the no-date dial. And then, you know, it's got this kind of markings which have a bit of a fall patina there. You know, there's a bit of yellowing that's been applied to the paint that they used to decorate this watch. You know, I can't fault them for that. Of course, it's not going to match real patina, but, you know, it is a very good attempt, a very fair, and it's produced a look at a watch that's really quite nice. The case, I really like the design. You know, the beautiful domed sapphire there, the way, you know, these jewel crowns interface with the case. You know, just look at how they pop out. They are the oversized Super-Compressor style with the cross hatching on the face of the crowns there, right? Just the way they sit and they come out, it's great. It's really a very beautiful case, I reckon, even though it's such a very basic looking design. It's very well balanced. And it's possibly the most versatile diver ever, right? It's thin. It doesn't have that sport external bezel, yet it's a fully featured, fully capable dive watch that you can swap out into leather and easily swap back into, you know, a NATO, or you can get the original metal straps that they do issue for these watches. So let's just quickly try it on for the wrist shot. Okay, so there we have it, the Longines Legend Diver, in this case on this VARIO ballistic nylon Zulu in ash grey on my 17cm wrist, right? That's how it sits, right? The lugs are a little bit long, right? Remember, it's a 45mm lug-to-lug width, which, you know, it's not hugely bigger than the case, but somehow, because it protrudes out that far on the side, it does seem to make it wear slightly larger than it should. But, you know, I think it's still overall something that I'm quite comfortable sporting, you know, no doubt about it on my 17cm wrist myself. Okay, so that's how it looks like on the wrist there. And, you know, what can you complain about this watch? I think you're really going to be nitpicking, really. And I'll say really just two things. One is the loom. The loom is minimal. They've chosen a very conservative application. They haven't chosen to apply lots of loom, which means that it doesn't perform very long. So this will not last through the night. I haven't found that this is very readable by the morning, you know, after spending a night in bed. So just beware, it's not the greatest performing loom diver out there if that's important to you. And the other thing is just beware a warning on the strap. This strap is very long. I think it is the extra large strap, but if it isn't, then they've made some serious decision errors on how long they make this strap, or at least the lack of holes that they've applied on this part of the strap there. You know, it's just too large for the vast majority of people on the smallest hole there. So just a warning there. Make sure you take a look at the strap options if you're taking a serious look at this. From Longines, you know, probably you're only going to be able to do that at an authorized dealer of some sort to actually try that in hand rather than buying it online. So guys, there it is. It's a very long review already. I've rambled on, but I had to show you that big watch box, you know, largest one I've seen yet. Guys, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of this watch. You know, it's really got quite a lot of following, a lot of love online. If you have it, I'd like to know what you think of it. Guys, if you enjoy my videos, do consider subscribing. I'm putting out new content weekly, always aiming to be objective and unbiased about all things horology. Thank you again for watching, and as always, I will catch you next time.